survivors, and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video. And in this video we are going to be taking a first look at Gold Mythic Cameron Scarr, who is going to be coming to RTS as an advanced token wheel character. Now visually we have had Cameron Scarr in the game before and he looks very similar with the shield, kind of the same get up as the characters we had before. I think we had a 5-star ascendable version and a 6-star version, and they both had the shield. It was all about the shield. But this one is going out looking for arts and craft materials, apparently, with that bag. Priorities in the Walker Apocalypse, no doubt. It does have some other weaponry. We do have the pistol on the ankle and the baton around the waist. So, you know, if he needs to, can get to the secondaries. But that shield seems to be doing pretty good work. If we see on the left-hand side, there is a Walker getting absolutely obliterated right now. Absolutely destroyed. And that is pretty much what that shield is going to be doing. I did say when I previewed the character like in a teaser that the art of this character and all the other characters was pretty gruesome. This is probably one of the worst just because it's just like the animation of it is kind of crazy. If we look at the stats on this character, level 1440, limit break 3. He has got a tiddly 10,533 attack, a pretty decent 33,354 defense, but a massive 43,887 HP. It's going to be a strong character, going to be able to tank roll, Gold Mythic of course, and it's going to be joining the Road to Survival Allegiance. Now first off, we'll check out the Adrenaline Rush, and it is called Beaten Mess. It has a recharge rate of 75 AP, taunt 5 enemies for 1 turn, deals 70% of this fighter's current HP as damage to an enemy. This fighter heals for 50% of their max HP for the rest of combat. So quite reminiscent, if I'm honest, of the previous Cameron Scarr, where I think he was very taunt heavy, and we're going to get another taunt heavy character. Taunting 5 for 1 turn obviously is pretty good. This does mean guaranteed this character is going to get 25 AP from doing this, because each of those attacks is a taunted attack, giving an extra 5 AP per hit. Then there's the damage that actually is dealt, can give between 1 and 5 AP again, and generally would be like 2 or 3 AP each. So potentially could come out with 35 AP on all 5 of these taunted attacks. Obviously, if there's only 3 alive, it would just be 3, so on and so forth. Now the second part, dealing 70% of this fighter's current HP as damage to an enemy. This fighter has very high base HP, so the HP they can get to will be pretty decent. Obviously it's current HP, but that's where the last part of this Adrenaline Rush comes in. That's helpful. It is going to heal them for the rest of combat, meaning that their current HP should always be pretty decent after doing this Adrenaline Rush. They could have other heals in their kit. They could have bonus HP to protect that current HP. They also could have other taunts and stuff, because this is quite a pricey rush. 75 AP is quite high, but if there is other taunts to force AP gain, there could also be AP gain somewhere else in the kit. We'll have to wait and see. But this, as it stands, is not too bad at all, and it can work on attack or defense, but I would primarily see it as more of a defense-based rush. However, the easiest way to show you this Adrenaline Rush is going to be on attack for sure. When the Adrenaline Rush is up, based on who it hits, it will do some damage, but it will also taunt everybody, as you can see, for 1 turn. Right now, you can see that Cameron Scarr's AP is 0. He'll gain 25 from the taunted attacks, but should gain extra from the actual damage dealt. Now, we do have someone on the defense team who will cleanse, so Angel will not actually attack, and some characters on attack teams can also automatically cleanse things as well. We'll just hit the defend action, so we should get 20, and then you can see we get +4, so we got 4 AP. So that's how it works when it comes to the taunt. Obviously those characters can't use their signatures, their Adrenaline Rushes, if they don't resist it, or if they haven't got focus or any way to deal with the taunt. And now Cameron Scarr's went on his way to getting his Adrenaline Rush yet again. Going over the upgrades on the Adrenaline Rush, you can see at grade 3 it gets +2 taunt targets. It goes from 3 taunt targets up to 5 taunt targets for 1 turn. At grade 5 it gets an upgrade where it deals 40% of this fighter's current HP as damage to an enemy. And at limit break 2, that grade 5 upgrade gets boosted from 40% up to 70%. So I think the Adrenaline Rush is nice. It is quite costly on the actual AP. It will be based on the rest of his kit, whether you see this as a bonus. It is, I think, just more of a bonus in terms of how it works on most defense teams. Adrenaline Rushes aren't the priority on a lot of defense team characters' kits. It's all about the signatures and the passives, because those are the things that are more likely to occur, and generally those are things that are more powerful. However, this isn't too bad. A full team taunt, a bit of damage, and a nice little heal as well. You can't really complain if this character is going to do their Adrenaline Rush. It's going to enable a little bit of freedom for the rest of your team to get an extra turn, maybe do a signature, maybe do a rush, maybe heal up, maybe even revive someone, so on and so forth. Maybe just a little bit of a breather, just to give the defense team a bit more of a chance to get the ball rolling again after this Adrenaline Rush goes off. So like I say, not too bad, but I think the spicier stuff is going to come in the rest of Cameron Scarr's kit. And we can check that out first with the signature move, and it is called Defensive Bash. It has got an initial cooldown at turn 1, cooldown at 1 turn, number of uses unlimited. This fighter gets defense down block for the rest of combat, deal 25% of this fighter's current HP as damage, and 25% as main damage to an enemy. When on the defense team, taunt one other enemy for the rest of combat. So obviously, 3 parts. The defense down block is nice. You can get this on a weapon for the limited time, and that obviously goes away. But here's defense down block for the rest of combat. He can reapply it. It has got a very good cooldown, so if this somehow gets stolen away or cleansed, he can reapply it on the next signature move. Dealing 25% damage and 25% main damage is actually pretty decent when it comes to his current HP again. It does look like you're going to want to have Cameron Scarr in a team where it has heal over times in it, just so that he's topped up before he does a lot of his skills. But yeah, that's actually pretty decent damage, because you should be able to get up to 100k HP without too much of a problem on someone who's got 43k base. That means he's potentially doing a 50k hit there. There's not too many attack team characters that can take that, even with full bonus HP. It's just worth noting. And obviously, the main damage part of it would bypass bonus HP anyway. So even if they had quite high HP, that main damage is going to be brutal. The last part, taunting an enemy for the rest of combat. We have had this on other control types. We've had like stunning an enemy for the rest of combat. We've had confusing enemies for the rest of combat, dazing enemies for the rest of combat. Now we've got taunt, but it's only going to work on the defense team. This means it's going to be a constant 5 AP boost non-stop, but also this will reset every other turn, so potentially we'll be taunting characters every other turn for the rest of combat. Theoretically could taunt an entire team after a few turns, not just with the Adrenaline Rush, but with this for the rest of combat is actually kind of crazy. If you see Cameron Scarr on the defense team, you either have to prioritize this guy or make sure you've got something to do with taunt. Otherwise, you are going to be in a loop. This is something that has happened in previous eras, and it is problematic for sure. You don't want to just sit there watching your characters non-stop hitting one character and there's nothing you can do. Okay, so we're just going to hit defend action quite a lot here just to see how this works. We want to see the damage output from the signature move. Obviously, he has to be on the defense team to be able to see the actual taunt. So I do the defense. You can see initial damage comes in, then main damage, and someone else gets taunted. I can hit the defend action again. He should do a basic attack, taunted, and then if I hit the defend action again, he'll do his signature move again. This time he'll take another character out, and someone else is taunted. It's going to be Richard up the top. We'll do defend action. Now everybody's taunted, and it's worth noting that this isn't going to override the taunt of Richard. He should still be taunted for the rest of combat. Well, he's going to be dead. He's going to be dead. And that's basically how it works. As you can see, I can take my turn now, lucky me. But he can potentially do lots and lots of taunts. And we already know what his weapon is when it comes to the cleanse, because we did see that on the teaser I did. So, yeah, it's pretty decent potential for this character on the defense team. It's all about the synergy, though. This character definitely needs someone to keep him alive, not just from the Adrenaline Rush heal over time, but someone else. Bonus HP could be good for him, again, because if you do any damage to bonus HP, it doesn't do anything when it comes to his current HP. So when his current HP is high, his damage output is just higher. It's just as simple as that. Now, if we look at the upgrades on this signature move, at grade 2, it's going to get an upgrade where this fighter gets defense down block for the rest of combat. So, you know, nice and early. At grade 4, it gets an upgrade when on the defense team, taunt one other enemy for the rest of combat. Again, pretty early. This is just one copy. At limit break 1, you are going to get an upgrade where it deals 25% of this fighter's current HP as main damage to an enemy. So initially, it's just going to be 25% of the fighter's current HP as damage to an enemy. And then at limit break 3, we get the -1 to starting cooldown. So it goes from a turn 2 starting cooldown down to a first turn starting cooldown, which I would say is reasonably important to get the ball rolling for Cameron Scarr. If for his AP, if just for the damage and control, if not for the actual AP that he's going to require to be able to do his adrenaline rush. Now you could see that he did seemingly need some other AP from elsewhere, because what was happening was he wasn't getting enough AP after 2 taunted attacks to get his adrenaline rush. His adrenaline rush seems quite slow, but his signature move is way more powerful than his adrenaline rush. You could see it was basically one-shotting a lot of characters. The higher his HP as well, the better. He didn't have a leader skill. He hasn't got an upgraded weapon. He had no combat mods. And that was doing 15k like initial attack and 15k maim most of the time. That's only going to get higher. You know, if it's 25%, 100k HP, it's going to be 25k. If he goes higher than that, obviously, it's based on his current HP, but his current HP should be reasonably high unless someone focuses him. But then if you focus him, you're going to free up other characters on defense teams. So you could team him up with someone else who's a priority target, like Alert Negan, and then there's where the problems will come in. Which ones do you focus on? And yeah, so on and so forth. But this actually looks pretty like a nice signature move. Definitely the highlight of the kit, and it's going to be going off more often than not when it comes to this character. Probably go off twice before the adrenaline rush actually occurs, which isn't too bad. Like I say, this is almost like a mini adrenaline rush in itself. So yeah, definitely nice signature move. Damage, control. This is very, very powerful for the kind of character that Cameron Scarr is shaping up to be by the looks of things. But how can those passives help? We'll check those out in a minute. Well, first we'll do a giveaway. Because Cameron Scarr is an advanced token wheel character, we'll be giving away 10,000 advanced tokens. All you have to do is like the video and leave a comment down below. Any comment will do. Talk about the character, how you feel about RTS, anything you want when it comes to, you know, Road to Survival or Cameron Scarr. Let me know in the comments down below. Best of luck if you enter the giveaway. Now back to the video. And here are those mythic abilities, Cameron Scarr's passive skills. He is, of course, a tank, so he has got strength, which will be 40% critical hit resistance. That will actually help with the taunted attacks, so he'll take slightly less damage on crits here. However, if you look at the next part, shield spikes, when being attacked by an enemy with taunt, reflect 200% of the damage. This is obviously massive, because there are some characters out there that can deal like 20k hits on their basic attacks in certain scenarios, and they'd get reflected 40k damage. And on an attack team character, that is a massive amount of damage that is going to be so massively problematic. And that's where he could obviously be doing things much quicker. That's where that taunt for the end of combat is going to be even more problematic, because if you don't have any heals on the attack team, that character is eventually just going to die anyway. Now the next passive is called Attention Grabber. At the start of each wave and turn, 100% chance to remove focus from a random enemy and remove camouflage from 2 random enemies. This is obviously very nice indeed. So it kind of bypasses the potential for characters to not be taunted. They can bypass taunt with focus. That's not going to be as easy to do. And also camouflage stops characters from, or teams should I say, being as viable against things like payback, which is actually quite good. Cameron Scarr's not going to benefit from that himself, but you could team him up with a payback to make it more beneficial. So he's kind of helping, because it's at the start of each wave and turn. So it should start before the fight starts, and then also when it comes back to his turn. So within the first defense turn, 4 characters should have their camouflage removed. This is going to happen every single turn, so any reapplication potentially will get removed as well. Now, when we check out the last passive, this is where things get quite tasty. Healing Pains. When being attacked, this fighter recovers from heal reduction and then heals for 50% of their max HP. I did say we needed a little bit more healing on Cameron Scarr, but we have got it in the passives. He could have a teammate healing him as well. It wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing, but this is obviously going to be great when the character gets attacked by those taunted attacks, will heal for 50% each time. It's also going to have an animation with that stuff, so it can sometimes delay the fight a little bit, which is obviously beneficial for a defense team. And it's obviously beneficial for Cameron Scarr because he'll be at higher HP. I still think maybe having some bonus HP would be very helpful here, because he would still heal even if it only took damage out of his bonus HP, as long as he actually could get healed. Very nice passive on that last one. Very useful for how Cameron Scarr's kit is going to work. So with that information in mind, this time around we're going to basically work out what's happening when characters actually attack him. He should take out a character first. Again, he'll target one of the fast characters. Makes sense. And then we'll have a taunted attack come in here from William. Now you see, William gets 16,000 reflected from his 8,000 basic attack. That is over half his HP. He actually has higher base HP than a lot of attack characters. Most have like around about 24k that are pure damage dealers. He is a bit higher. Most of them would be in a lot more trouble now. And obviously they'd be doing maybe a little bit more damage too. Now you can see off the first attack, we do not get a heal come in. However, if I follow it up with another attack, we'll let the taunted attacks do their job. More damage, and the second hit attack comes in. So like if I attack now, you'll see there's no heal because the first attack is just reducing HP. Then the next one is reducing HP, but then he should be healed back up. There we go. So it's every other attack effectively when he's not at max HP at least. If he's at like 20% of his max HP, then he will heal twice if you do 2 attacks in a row. It's pretty much the same as how it works on other characters. Right now you can see he's got 100% heal reduction as well. If I attack him with Richard, he should cleanse that heal reduction, and now it's gone. It's pretty much as simple as that. And then he'll obviously do some damage against another character. We should have maybe 2 characters taunted now. And then we have Carver reflect himself to death. That's pretty much what can happen. He hit 18k crit that time, and he did 37,000 damage to himself. That's obviously what could happen off the first hit, and he would have one-shot himself. Now going into the upgrades, you can see at grade 1, he gets the first half of shield spikes. When being attacked by an enemy with taunt, reflect to 100% of the damage. At grade 2, he gets the first half of strength, 20% critical hit resistance. You might not want to actually upgrade this, so he has more chance of taking crit damage, and that way he has more chance of reflecting more damage. This one is very debatable though, it's up to you. At grade 3, he gets the second half of shield spikes, making it 200% reflect when attacked by someone with the taunt status effect. Moving on to grades 4 and 5, we get the first half of Attention Grabber. At grade 4, at the start of each wave and turn, 50% chance to remove focus from a random enemy and remove camouflage from 2 random enemies. At grade 5, when being attacked, this fighter recovers from heal reduction and heals for 20% of their max HP. As we move into the limit breaks, we'll get the second half of strength, making it 40% critical hit resistance at limit break 1. At limit break 2, the second half of Attention Grabber comes in, where it'll be a 100% chance to remove focus from a random enemy and remove camouflage from 2 random enemies at the start of each wave and turn. And then at limit break 3, Healing Pains 2 comes in. When being attacked, this fighter now recovers from heal reduction and heals for 50% of their max HP. These passives are very nice with how Cameron Scarr's kit works. He does look like quite a nice character, especially that Attention Grabber actually. He's going to help support his teammates when it comes to like paybacks and so on and so forth. But it also potentially does counter Lone Wolves to a little certain extent, because we do have a Lone Wolves character in Eva and Ghost who does get focus at the start of the fight, but he's going to remove it because at the beginning of the wave he'll remove the focus. This is actually quite important because normally you can attack behind a shield with Eva and Ghost, and that's very useful. So teaming up Cameron Scarr with a shield could be beneficial. He will get the downside of not being directly attacked as often because the shield will be shielding and any taunted attacks would hit the shield first. You kind of got to work out what you want to do there. Do you want to try and remove focus and utilize a shield, or do you want to try and have Cameron Scarr try and actually get some taunts in to get his kit going? Either way, it should work. He can work in a number of teams by the looks of things. So like I said, the passives seem pretty solid. The self-heal coming in with the last passive is kind of clutch, like I was talking about throughout the video. He kind of maybe was lacking that self-heal potential. but there it is. So yeah, thumbs up on the passives. Work well in Cameron Scarr's kit here. Now the specialist skill for Cameron Scarr is going to be Dexterity 2. And we've seen this quite a bit. Whenever this fighter takes damage from an attack, rush, or signature move, they will reduce the damage by 7% for every 20% of their max AP they currently have. If this character's health is above 20% and they take damage that would take them down, their health would be reduced to 19% instead. This fighter cannot be decapped. Now, it is worth noting, because this character has such a high cost rush and he's not rushing super quick, he's going to be at AP quite a lot. He was at like 40% plus for 2 turns. And that's going to be potentially 14, 21, 28% reduction on any damage that he's taking. So he's not very easy to even hit, even outside of the taunted damage, which is obviously actually quite beneficial. This character, again, cannot be decapped, so you could potentially have a full team of non-decappable characters in a team now just based on the specialist skills, which would obviously be problematic. This is why decap has definitely dropped down in the quality that it was. It used to be like that S tier specialist skill. Now you'd be lucky if it was A tier, honestly. There's so much decap resist out there on just skills and signature moves, let alone these specialist skills. But yeah, very nice for Cameron Scarr when it comes to how his kit works. Damage reduction, survivability, can't be easily one shot. So even if you do want to focus this character, it's going to take a little bit to get him down. Now I'll just recap on the weapon. This I did tease in my teaser video for the character. And it's Cameron Scarr's Riot Shield, 45% HP, 40% defense, cleanse when attacked. When being attacked, this fighter recovers from all penalties. An improved trait damage reduction. All incoming trait advantage damage against this fighter has the multiplier reduced by 60%. So obviously the cleanse is nice. It's going to happen with all those taunted attacks. Every single time he's attacked, he will cleanse. This is very nice indeed. The base stats as well are nice. And then the last slot, obviously, is great. So if anyone tried to utilize attack versus strong or was an alert character, he would reduce that trait part of the damage by 60%, which means he would just take less damage. He still will be reflecting back 200% of whatever he takes, but he would just take not as like nuclear level damage, just increasing his survivability. This will stack with his specialist skill reductions as well. So again, like I say, just improving survivability on a defense team and being that target on a defense team that you probably want to take down earlier rather than later. This is good. It means it's harder to take him down. It's going to take more attacks to actually take him out, leaving more room to maneuver on a defense team for his teammates. So that was just a first look at Gold Mythic Cameron Scarr, and his kit does make a lot of sense. Very good on defense for sure. I don't think there's much utility on attack. There was potentially just based on the fact that it was doing damage based on his HP, but the taunt on the signature move only works on defense, and I don't think that the actual reflect stuff will work on attack teams too much. But you never know. Someone could come up with something crazy, but it's definitely viable on a defense team. Has some pretty good synergy matchups potentially. Other key targets on defense teams duoed up with Cameron Scarr makes attack teams have to make a choice, and generally there's never going to be a good one there. Negan's very hard to take down. Cameron Scarr looks like he could be very hard to take down. You'd be very lucky to take down both in the same turn. Counters certain aspects of key attack team characters as well when it comes to things like the focus on Eva and Ghost. So definitely some nice usability for Cameron Scarr in what is like the more meta attack teams at the moment. So yeah, definitely some problems that Cameron Scarr could throw into the mix. We'll see what it's going to be like. Do tell me your thoughts on Cameron Scarr in the comments down below. Best of luck if you enter the giveaway. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.